Yeah.
Okay, so the debate is going to be about if the Nazis were the sole
Are the only ones responsible for the Holocaust.
So I'm pro and you're con. So I believe that the Nazis were the only the starters of the Holocaust because Hitler was part of the Nazis and Hitler hated the Jews, which also started the killing of the Jews by putting them in concentration camps.
However, I must disagree with you because even though I know that Hitler did hate the Jews, but there are many other people who hated the Jews that are not Hitler. For example, as we learned before in the first semester, anti-Semitism already existed as they created a different church and then they were separated from kind of east and west, and then the Jews were kind of odd ones, and then so lots of people for generations and for centuries people hated Jews. So it wasn't only Hitler who hated the Jews. Therefore, making it clear that it wasn't only the Nazis.
I get your point, but except for the reason there weren't any foul feelings of the Jews around the world except for Germany. It started in Germany because Hitler was the one who started bad mouthing about the Jews, and so after it started in Germany, it spread all over, and it started to become more of an issue.
If you see in the textbook, it says that Europe already had anti-Semitism that existed in the page where it talks about the Jews and the Holocaust.
But then the Holocaust started in Germany because of Hitler, so
the Holocaust only started because other countries refused to take refugees.
Yeah, but so
it's their fault for not taking in refugees.
No, but the Holocaust started because Germany started to gain so much power because Hitler and the Nazis started to take over other countries, which became more stronger, which made it harder for other countries to stop the war and stop the killings of Jews.
But the killings of Jews would never start if the European countries such as France, the US, Italy, or Spain took Jewish refugees who were coming from Germany to their country.
But there were so many. But by then Germany expanded so much, and there were so many people that were being killed because they were Jews, and there were mass murders, and because of having so much power and so many countries that Germany had inside them, the Nazis made camps. The Nazis made camps for the Jews, and once there was one camp called Auschwitz. It's a concentration camp, and it's the biggest extermination camp for Jews. And they created that camp because there was so much power in Germany, and no other country could stop them.
No, they created that camp because other countries didn't take in Jews, but then because Germany wanted a perfect society with only its existing Aryans, they thought that if the Jews weren't getting out of Germany, then they had to exterminate them. So first, they isolated them. But then, since they weren't dying out, they thought they'll starve to death if they have no rights. Not no rights. They have some rights, but not rights, while violating a lot of human rights. So they don't have many rights, and so they thought the Nazis and Germans thought that if they isolated the Jews, they would eventually starve to death, die out of disease and stuff. But then Hitler wanted Hitler wanted them to die out more faster, more efficiently. He wanted the empire to grow, so he killed all of them. But this would never happen if the Jews were taken out. He only did that because other countries refused to take them as refugees.
Not just other countries. There were countries that would take them as refugees, such as Denmark and other types of countries that would take them as refugees. Except for Hitler wanted all Jews in the whole world to go away. He hated the Jews, so that's why he created concentration camps, because he had so much hatred for them. That's why 6 million people of Jews died because of the Nazis. And the reason why he did that was because he said, I quote, as he said, "Nobody remembers the Armenians," and saying that because technically not very many people remember how the extinction of the Armenians and how the country invaded the people of Armenia, and they started to kill them off and put them in concentration camps as well. And Hitler just followed that rule, saying that nobody will remember the Jews. So it should be Hitler whose fault it was.
It wasn't only Hitler's fault. It was everyone's. Like, the citizen ignored the fact that most citizens ignored the fact that the Jews were taken into concentration camps. They thought, as long as it's not me, it's okay. So that is also a point. And also, you said that Denmark took them in, but then they didn't take they didn't take as much refugees that they needed. Like, France also did take some refugees, but they only took 1,000 people. And they should have taken more than that. And US should have come and helped faster. They should have taken some refugees. They decided not to.
But they didn't. That's the point. They didn't come in faster, which is saying because they didn't come in faster because Germany was expanding way too fast, and they were having way too much power because they kept taking over other countries. That's why the other countries were too scared of getting into a huge war with Germany, because Germany had much more power.
But they already were in a war with Germany.
Yeah, but then Germany was expanding way more, and so they didn't want to push the war.
Yeah, so US should have come and took refugees as well as getting involved faster. They shouldn't have isolated. If they did that, if they took refugees, then the Holocaust would have stopped. Therefore, because they didn't, the Holocaust is not only Nazis' fault. The US has some fault in it, but not participate in taking refugees and helping the Jews, and only attacking Japan.
But they didn't. That's the point. Because Germany was expanding way too much, and back in those days, it didn't matter. What mattered was having how many people in your army and how much land and resources you had, because then the army with the most resources and the most people would survive the most, and they would win the war. So that's why not other countries would directly attack Germany, because they were becoming too much stronger and killing off too many of the Jews.
But if you think about it, after the war, people created a separate country, just for the Jews, because they are taking in fault that they felt bad for the Jews, and they're taking fault. It's not the only Nazis' fault. They feel bad because it was also their fault for not understanding, not taking in refugees, not helping out with the Jews. They ignored the Jews completely, as they too hated the Jews because of anti-Semitism.
But before anti-Semitism became such a popular concept, Germany created it so that there was more foul feelings of Jews around Germany, and they expanded way more, because not all people hated Jews and not all people killed the Jews. Mostly the Nazis in Germany and all over the countries that Germany took over, the Nazis, they were the ones who killed the Jews, and they were the ones who created the genocide of the Jews and the homicides.
Yeah, they killed the Jews because the people surrounding them didn't like them. But it already existed starting like ages ago. It was from generation to generation. Even in the textbook, it also said German people and other European people complained that it was Jews' fault that they lost World War I. So then it already existed widely over Germany. So it wasn't only the Nazis, it was also the citizen. So the citizen also rat their neighbor, oh, he's a Jew, you should take him to concentration camp and kill him, because they hated them. They too wanted all the society to have Aryans.
But they didn't hate them so much until the Germans expanded the idea of having Jews as a foul, not as a human, and they shouldn't have human rights. As soon as Hitler became in charge, that's when the start of hating Jews occurred. The Holocaust occurred because Hitler was the leader, and Hitler wanted to get rid of them. Hitler was the one who started the Holocaust because he hated the Jews and he tried to kill all of them off, and he expanded Germany to create a lot of people from dying.
No, but then it's not only Hitler's fault. You can't just say it's only Hitler's fault, because even the citizen, other countries, and many other factors lead to the Holocaust. It wasn't only Germany who created the Holocaust and making it only their fault.
It was mostly Hitler's fault, though, because Hitler was part of the Nazis. He was in charge of the Nazis, and the percentages of the Nazis killing the Jews were higher than any other country killing the Jews, because Hitler was part of the Nazis.
Of course, it is mostly the Nazis' fault, but however, it's not only the Nazis' fault. Therefore, concluding the point that it wasn't only Nazi who is responsible for the Holocaust. It's mostly the Nazi. However, not only the Nazis.
No, but it is mostly, it shouldn't be any other country's fault because Germany was already expanding way too much and they had so much power and so many people in their country and their army so that other countries, even if they wanted to, they couldn't fight back Germany for killing off the Jews because they had too much power already and it was all the Germany's fault because they were the one. Because Hitler was the one who took over the Nazis. He made a huge rumor, not really a rumor, but he stated the fact that Jews were horrible and that they were foul and they shouldn't be human and they shouldn't be treated like people. And that's why and many other countries started to hate Jews because of what Hitler was talking about them and giving good rumors, but giving good remarks, but they weren't all factual.
If you say that because they were a strong country and because they were expanding, no one could help them. But if you think about it, how about Japan? Japan was also expanding. They're a strong country. No, like countries around them couldn't beat them. But then U.S. came along and only got involved when Japan attacked them. They shouldn't have done that. They should have got involved as soon as Germany started violating people's rights and taking over Europe and the whole world.
But that's a different story. Japan has nothing to do with really the Holocaust.
No, but you took the example of saying that Germany was a strong country expanding there for the Holocaust. How come Japan was also a fascist place, but not
because
Nazi fascist?
Because Japan wasn't expanding as much as Germany was. Germany was taking over a lot of countries and like a lot of people, and he changed the minds of a lot of people and turned them into
Asia.
Japan didn't take over as much power as Germany did. Germany had too much power for the others to take over, but Japan it's not really a small country, but it didn't take over as much as the Germany did. That's why people couldn't attack Germany as much as they could attack Japan.
No, but they did expand. But the only difference was that Germany was expanding in Europe and Japan was expanding in Asia, and also other Germany people, Japan also kind of expanded near the Oceania place.
But for Japan, because first of all, they didn't expand as much as Germany did. They didn't have as much power, and the other countries united power to take over to stop the power of Japan from overreaching. But no one did.
United States.
No, it was also Britain who also helped with Japan. And Germany, nobody wanted to take the chance of destroying Germany because Germany had too much power, too many people, and they could easily wipe out another country, and they wanted to because they had that much power. And that's why nobody tried to help the Jews because Germany was killing them all off and putting them into concentration camps.
People did help the Jews. If you think about it, there were some citizens who helped the Jews, and there were other countries who were taking in Jews, like you said, Denmark. So even though Nazis are like mostly responsible for the Holocaust, you can't say they are the only ones responsible for the Holocaust.
They are the only ones responsible practically because no other country tried to stop them or tried to help or anything.
They did try to stop them, like Denmark. The king said that he was a Jew.
That's how Germany started to take over Denmark as soon as. So Denmark used to be a safe country, but then Germany started to take over Denmark, and then Denmark started to become not a safe country for the Jews anymore, and that's why the Jews started to run away. And Jews were put into concentration camps who were in Denmark as well because Germany was expanding and had too much power.
But then other countries are trying to help, even though Germany tried to expand the Holocaust. Other countries tried their best to help, and they also took refugees even in times of depression and their own war. But then it's not only their fault because the other countries try to help in solving Holocaust, and then they also they try to help and prevent Holocaust, but it was mostly Nazis' fault, but it wasn't the only Nazis' fault.
I get what you're saying, but most of everything happened to the Jews was all practically the Nazis' fault because the Nazis.
It only happened because the people around Europe didn't take refugees. like if they did take refugees, if they took million people, more than
But they
million.
didn't. That's the point. They didn't take over.
But we're saying if.
But they didn't because Germany was
They're-
expanding
yes,
too much.
because
They
they
had too
didn't.
much power.
Because they didn't, it was the world's fault. The other parts of the world, it was their fault for not taking in the refugees.
But Germany had too much power, so it's more about they couldn't, even though
No,
they wanted.
Germany wanted other countries to take refugees. They wanted, but then because they didn't, they isolated them.
Germany didn't want Germany. That was their plan at first, but then Hitler wrote that book and he wanted to exterminate, wipe out the Jewish.
Yeah,
and he wanted all of them to
After
die.
he invades the whole world, because
He would.
let's stop.